this article was Dr. Asperger, a Nazi. Dr. Asperger was the doctor who first identified a classification that we now call Asperger's, which is that high-functioning autism. One of the things that Steve talks about in this article is that people make the assumption that he only looked at individuals with high-functioning autism, and he says that he's got proof that that's not the case, that he looked at a wide variety of individuals with autism and different types of autism, although they weren't calling it that then. And that he was doing that and was a kind and caring physician before Hitler's rise to power in Germany. Now, here is where the stories part, and we have different viewpoints from the three different authors of the two different books, because in this article, which I encourage you to read, Steve Silberman talks about the fact that we do have documentation showing that Dr. Asperger enthusiastically signed in very big letters Heil Hitler to documents that he put out. We have at least one document in which he sentences a young girl who has mental difficulties to be put to death in a concentration camp. So these are things that nobody is quibbling and saying don't exist. They exist. But the differences in opinions seem to center around, was it a choice or was it something that was foisted upon him? Silberman certainly makes the argument in his article that at the time, one of the best things he could have done for his young patients is gone along to a certain extent so that he could help other people. That's Silberman's seeming point of view. You read it and see what you think from it. Although the authors of In a Different Key suggest that he, it was not for the good of individuals with autism that he was signing papers, sending people off to death. I will say that I think Silberman presents a very compelling argument that at the time, doctors who stood up for individuals who were mentally different were sent to the camps themselves and no longer had the opportunity to practice medicine. And that there would, we certainly could make a case that for his own preservation and for that of his patients, he might have chosen to just go on as far as he can. Although, there's evidence on both sides. There's a journal that has now been found, and in it details that a friend of Asperger's, after seeing him speak at a conference, said, "Dude, I think you're overplaying your hand of, this doesn't seem like you because you seem a little too enthusiastic about this Nazism thing." I am paraphrasing, of course. He did not say dude. But interesting, I don't know that we'll ever have this controversy settled, although others have said, is this really what the argument needs to be? We don't have a designation of Asperger's anymore. This Asperger and a few of his colleagues did a lot to further the discussion. They were among the first people to really note that these individuals were not IQ challenged, but that they had other issues going on, and that we should not discount what that has done for the autism community, whether their politics were something that was completely distasteful or not. So the controversy continues. But a very interesting article. I really encourage you to read it. It's on NPR this morning in the health section. Was Dr. Asperger a Nazi? The question still haunts autism. Is it haunting you? I don't know that it's haunting me. I find it fascinating, but it's certainly not haunting me.